What's going on, everybody? My name is Lawrence Thomas, and today we are going to be talking about how I became a professional driver. It all starts back when I was 6 years old, believe it or not. The story takes quite a ways back. But when I was 6 years old, racing was, or even when I was younger, racing was something that was always on TV when I was a kid. So every Sunday we had NASCAR, and anytime that there was any kind of form or something of racing, it was always on every single time. Okay. Um, so I absolutely fell in love with it. Right. Now, I'm from Las Vegas, and growing up, until you get to about 21 years old, there is absolutely nothing that you can do in Las Vegas, or there's very minimal things that you can do, obviously. One of the things that you can do is you could race. Um, that's probably the reason why many drivers actually come out of Vegas, because it's one of just the few things that we have available to us. So growing up, I see all this racing. I'm starting to really fall in love with racing. And I knew at that point that I wanted to be involved with driving. Driving was something that I just wanted to have. I would, anytime I was riding with my parents, I would always ask them, like, is this fun? Them driving out there on the street. Are you having fun? And I was always jealous of them that they were being able to drive their car on the street, and I had to sit passenger the entire time. So one day, my father brings me down to the go-kart track down there in Las Vegas, and we're sitting there, we're watching some races. Racing is going on, and there happens to be one gentleman there that is selling two go-karts, um, both which happened to be in my age group at the time when I'm 6 years old. It was a Comer 80 and a HPV 1. Those were the classes of the go-karts. And long and behold, my dad ends up getting this man's information, and we end up going to his house at a later date. Well, after visiting the man and seeing the go-karts and going over them, my dad ends up buying both, the HPV 1 as well as the Comer 80. Now, growing up, me knowing that I wanted to be a driver, I knew that this was something that would cost a lot of money. I knew that this was something that would take a lot of practice. But it didn't push me away very much. I also didn't know if I would end up being good enough. And that's probably a big piece that ends up being in a lot of our minds is am I actually good enough to get to that professional role? Well, we end up racing every single weekend from the time that I'm 6 years old all the way till my teen years. And it was amazing. It was fun. It was a blast. And then just about when I was 15 years old, my dad dies. Wow. That was the man that took care of the go-karts. He set up the go-karts. He would take me to my races. He would take me to practice. He'd pull me out of school. He was actually like the main component to my racing career. And he passed away. And that's a big deal. So now I'm sitting there as a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid, and I spent my entire youth racing and building up this entire skill for something that I really wanted to be. And now I can't chase it anymore. I can't chase that dream. So I sit there and I'm thinking, I said, well, if I want to be involved with any sort of driving, I am going to have to work at it. It's going to take a lot of work. And I know this, it's going to take a lot of work for me to get there. And I set that down and I started to plan out in my head, what can I do to become a driver, to end up as a driver? Light bulb goes off and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go online and I'm going to find the email addresses for all these big companies. And I'm going to email them and see if they can give me sponsorship money because I'm great at driving. I am a world driver. You should give me your money. Doesn't work. Apparently just sending out emails is really not a good technique or a good strategy to try to find some money, especially when you're just racing. So that doesn't work. And then I'm sitting there and I try to just rethink my plan. What can I do? So I go on Google and I start looking for sponsorship money, almost as if you would do if you were going to college and you were looking for some grants. I'm doing exactly the same thing on Google, just looking for sponsorships. Didn't work. Oh, back to square one. What do I do? And then finally, I'm sitting there, I'm scrolling on Facebook. And my very first driver coach that I ever had, his name's Matt Jaskol. Matt Jaskol happened to be working at a company in Las Vegas, local to my hometown, at a company called Dream Racing. Now, Dream Racing is a company where many tourists go to drive supercars. So let's say that you're going to Las Vegas. You go to Las Vegas, you go out to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Inside of the Speedway is Dream Racing. Dream Racing has an abundance amount of supercars. They have a bunch of Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Porsches. They have race cars, purpose-built race cars out there. And I saw Matt Jaskol happen to be the lead instructor at Dream Racing. So I got this brilliant idea. What if I go to Matt Jaskol, someone that's already coached me, and try to get a job? And that's exactly what I did. I went down there, I talked to Matt Jaskol, and he had absolutely no idea who I was. This is a man that coached me when I was 6, 7, 8 years old, and he had no idea who I was. Talk about just putting in the knife and turning it. But regardless, I ended up getting the job. Now I'm 18 years old at this point. I mean, I'm pretty dang young. I'm just a little dude. So I'm 18 now. I am they have a simulator room. So before you actually go down to their racetrack, they put you through a simulator so that you can understand the track. They have a purpose-built loaded track on there so you can practice it. So I'm up there in the simulator room at 18 years old, and I'm starting to teach people on this game how to actually drive on the track that they're about to go drive on. So that's where I get my start. Now, I run into a lot of different problems, though. I'm 18 years old. I look pretty young, obviously. And it's awfully difficult at 18 to tell a full-grown man that everything that he is doing is incorrect. But understand, at this point at 18, I already know a decent amount because I've been doing this since I was 6. Right? I've been racing since I was 6. So I have this problem where people just aren't taking my word for it. They're not really understanding, or they don't think that what I know is true. On top of that, I really, truly didn't understand the lingo. I didn't understand how to communicate from person to person of what I needed to translate. So I knew that these are things that I had to work on. I continued to work on it. I started to look on different websites, and I would watch different YouTube videos, and I would do all these different sorts of things to just try to get all this knowledge and try to really understand what other instructors that are much older than I, what they were doing to have success in the industry. To make a long story short, this is something that I've continued to work on. And at this point, I have worked for some of the biggest manufacturers in the world, including BMW, Corvette, Cadillac, Lexus, Toyota, Chevrolet, and even tire manufacturers like Bridgestone. I have gone on to work for each and every one of them. And on top of that, I've kind of evolved into this driver coach where I continue to help people just like myself become faster out there on the racetrack or understand different elements to driving. And I think it's pretty damn cool. So that's kind of how I got my start inside of this industry, and where it came from. So if you just want to know more, and this is something that you're interested in, if you like driving, you like racing, I'm going to start filling out or filling this YouTube channel with a lot of those different videos and some of the different opportunities that I get to go away with. Right now, as you can see, I'm actually inside of a hotel room. I am in New Jersey in Rutherford, East Rutherford, and I'm with BMW, and we are doing an event out here in New Jersey. And so I just figured that I would make this video to help people that are out there that really want to become drivers and inspire them that you can do it. If just put your mind to it, you can seriously do it. There's nothing that holds you back besides yourself. So leave you with that note. I've really enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace out.